I remember waking up in the hospital and I had a graze on my face, the grazed knee. I'd wet myself and I'd bitten both sides of the inside of my cheek. And so I knew something pretty bad had happened, but I couldn't quite piece together exactly what.
Ben had a scan and they said, there were a number of things this could be. There's a lesion on the brain, but cancer is one option. You start Googling, so you start looking into what could this be, and there are some very scary options, glioblastoma being the worst of all of those options.
And then we met Paul Mulholland.
And he said, I don't know what type of tumour this is without a biopsy, but I think it's a glioblastoma. So that was the first time that we'd heard that, which was really, really difficult to hear. But it was that then led him into telling us that he was going to be running a trial for patients with newly diagnosed glioblastoma.
3,200 people get this disease every year in the UK, and it has an average survival of only 9 months. Unfortunately, the treatments are really quite harsh, and unfortunately, they don't work that well.
Paul Mulholland offered us an alternative to what was a certain death sentence by taking part in a clinical trial.
The trial that Ben took part in was a very exciting trial. It was called the NEAT Glioma study, funded by the John Moulton Charity Trust. Immunotherapy has revolutionised the treatment for other cancers, and what this study was doing is giving patients immunotherapy right up front before they've had other treatments, and this is when their immune system will be at its strongest.
It's about 2.5 years since diagnosis, and I've had clear scans. The type of cancer I have, glioblastoma, recurs. It comes back.
But it's very easy, I think, when you are living scan to scan, to sort of stagnate if you're not careful.
It does also focus the mind on how much time we've got left together.
That we came to the agreement that we would live life as best we can.
You've gone.
With me.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had a baby. Baby Mabel came along just over 6 weeks ago, which is pretty amazing. Oh, well, completely amazing.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
Yeah. Mabel is in lots of ways. She's us living life and living for now, but for the future.
Margaret McDonagh and Siobhan McDonagh have made a huge difference, and following Margaret's death, Siobhan took on this campaign, and she has been a force of nature. That her and her team have fundraised, and Siobhan has campaigned and supported so that we can actually open a new trial, and this is the first of Margaret's trials. We're going to have 16 patients who are going to be offered the same opportunity to have immunotherapy before they have their definitive surgery. This is really groundbreaking that we're going to be able to achieve this study, and it has been a huge effort on the part of Siobhan and all her supporters.
Glioblastoma is a terminal diagnosis. So to hear that, and to hear that the treatment hasn't changed for decades, is unbelievable and heartbreaking. So I think in terms of clinical trials from a medical perspective, it's important to try and find a cure. But from our personal experience, clinical trials offer hope. They offer you the opportunity to live whatever life you have with the hope that the clinical trial has helped.